Hi, I'm David. Welcome again to Wildlife in Focus. Did you know? There are currently 9 recorded species of frogs and toads in the British Isles. 4 of these are native, and the other 5 have been introduced. The common frog, scientific name Rana temporaria, is possibly the most familiar amphibian in the British Isles. Its smooth skin is generally brown, but can vary, as it can adapt its colour to blend in with its environment. It features long back legs and partially webbed feet, which enable it to hop on land and swim underwater. As with many of our frogs, they possess the ability to breathe through their skin and can stay submerged underwater, even when they hibernate. Common frogs are native and are found throughout the British Isles except some of the Northern Isles. The common toad, scientific name Bufo, is another native amphibian. They can be found across the British Isles except higher ground, the Scottish Isles, and Northern Ireland. Compared to the common frog, their skin is drier and warty. This allows them to inhabit drier habitats than their frog counterparts. The common toad has olive-brown skin. Their heads are broad, with wide mouths and very bulbous-looking eyes. They have rather attractive horizontal slit pupils, framed by copper irises. Apart from the warty skin, one of the best differentiators to tell whether you are looking at a common frog or a common toad is that toads have 2 bulbous patches behind their eyes called parotid glands. These contain bufotoxin, a foul substance excreted by the toad to deter would-be predators. Additionally, the common toad has shorter legs and therefore can only really walk along, albeit they can still hop, but only about the distance of their bodies. Sticking with our native amphibians, our next species is the Natterjack Toad, scientific name Epidalea calamita. Natterjacks have become one of the rarest species in the UK, with significant declines over the past decades due to habitat loss and fragmentation. Consequently, they are now a protected species. You are likely to hear natterjacks before you see them, particularly in the spring when males are trying to attract females. Their raspy calls can be heard up to a mile away. The Natterjack toad is smaller than a common toad and has a distinctive yellow stripe running down their back. Like their cousin, they also have dry, warty skin and short legs, meaning they also walk as opposed to hop. They can be found in Scotland, East Anglia, Surrey, Hampshire, and the northwest of England. Our final native species of frog and toad is the northern clade pool frog, scientific name Pelophylax lessonae. Their name is a bit of a mouthful, so they are more often called pool frogs. The species went into rapid decline and became extinct in the British Isles in the 1990s. Conservation efforts led to a reintroduction of pool frogs from Sweden, and there is now a small population again in Norfolk. They are smaller in size than the common frog, but similar in appearance, distinguished by their longer legs and more pointed heads. They sometimes have a green or yellow stripe running along their backs. Now, let's take a look at our non-native frogs and toads. Starting with the marsh frog, scientific name Pelophylax rubibundus. Marsh frogs can be found extensively across Europe, but only became resident in the UK in the 20th century after being introduced in Kent into a garden pond. Their range has subsequently expanded particularly across the south of the UK. Their name is apt, as marsh frogs prefer to inhabit marshy environments. Marsh frogs are quite large amphibians, approximately 50% larger than the resident common frog. Their colour ranges from olive to bright green, with irregular dark blotches across their upper parts. They sometimes have a green or yellow line running down the centre of their backs, and their underparts are creamy white. They have rounded snouts and also quite warty-looking skin. The midwife toad, scientific name Elates obstetricans, is also known as the bell toad due to its bell-like call. Midwife toads are a small species, only reaching about 5 centimeters in length. They have the typical warty skin of toads, and are generally dull grey in colour. Occasionally, however, they can be found with green or brown skin. The name midwife toad refers to the unusual behaviour of the male. After fertilising the eggs of the female, he wraps them around his hind legs and then carries them around until they hatch. First introduced into Bedfordshire, and is thought this occurred in a shipment of plants from Western Europe. It's unknown how far their range has expanded, but their effect on the native habitat seems limited. The edible frog, scientific name Pelophylax esculentus, is named literally, as it's eaten in certain European countries including France, Belgium and Italy. Edible frogs are a hybrid of the marsh frog and the pool frog and reproduce through the unusual method of hybridogenesis, whereby one of the parental genomes is selectively transmitted and the other is renewed by mating with the corresponding species. As a hybrid, they have variable appearance, though they are typically green or brown on their backs with dark spots and a yellow or green stripe along their back. Their underparts are white or light grey. First introduced into the south of England, their range has spread into East Anglia. The African clawed toad, scientific name Xenopus levis, was brought to the UK for use in laboratories on the Isle of Wight and South Wales. They were historically used as pregnancy tests. Doctors would send urine samples to labs for technicians to inject into the toad, whereby, if the woman was pregnant, the frog would start to lay eggs within a few hours of being injected. Escapees from labs have managed to establish themselves, though their range is thought to be limited to the Isle of Wight and South Wales. They have small, wedge-shaped heads with eyes located on top of their heads as opposed to the sides. Their bodies appear flat with smooth mottled olive-brown or grey-brown skin. Unusually for toads, they are almost exclusively aquatic. The bullfrog, scientific name Lithobates catesbyanus, is a highly invasive species introduced by pet owners, releasing them into the wild. They grow up to 25 centimetres in length. They have stout bodies, wide heads, and long hind legs. Their skin is smooth, ranging from green and brown on their backs with dark spots. Their bellies range from white, grey, or yellow. Due to its size, the bullfrog is able to prey on other native amphibians and therefore outcompete them. They also carry harmful diseases that disrupt the natural ecosystem. Most conservationists agree that the bullfrog should be eliminated from the British Isles. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, then please give a like on this video and consider subscribing. It really helps the channel.